Hello, it's Tuesday, and I have not one, but two 4-year-olds here this morning. And we're doing all the things. I have a mile-long to-do list today, which includes lots of laundry, putting away 4 baskets of laundry that I've been avoiding because I will wash and I will fold and I will hang up everything that you have. Please don't ask me to put it away. It's the bane of my existence. I'm starting with Touch Glorious Primer because we want this to sit for a few minutes. So anyway, I have just had too much going on in life, and a lot of my housework has fallen by the wayside. So I'm just going in with a little bit of Touch Glorious Primer. It's always a first step in my skincare routine when I do my makeup. I even put it on when I'm just kind of doing a very low maintenance makeup day because it kind of blurs your pores and gives you sort of like a, I don't know, like a glowy sheen, I guess. So this is a non-negotiable. This happens every day. Touch Glorious Primer. If you're not using a primer when you do your makeup, give it a try. I promise that you will like the way your makeup comes out about 100% more. It's actually, it feels like a moisturizer because it's very silky, but what it's going to do is create a barrier on your face so that when your makeup goes on, it sits on top of the primer as opposed to sinking into your pores, your fine lines, your wrinkles, all of that kind of stuff. So definitely grab a Touch Glorious Primer if you don't have one. I always have a backup. So today we're going to do a really, I don't want to call it a simple routine because it's not like 3 products and you're done, but it's a very simple look. It's sort of like one of these effortless sort of go-to mama glams that I know I keep spewing about, but there are days where I don't want to look super extra. I just want to look like the best version of me. So this is kind of how I do that. So I'm going to do a liquid foundation today, and I'm going to use a cream concealer. I've been kind of favoring my pressed powder to use as my under eye, but I want to show a lot of variety so that you guys can kind of see different combinations and what might work for your particular skin or what products you like the best. So I try to vary it a little bit for everybody's benefit. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use a couple of different pressed powders today to contour with. I'm going to use bronzer in my crease. I'm going to use a really bright shade of blush called Stunning. This scares a lot of people. It scared me at first too, but it's absolutely gorgeous when it goes on. And I want you to see, sort of stepping out of your comfort zone, what comes of that. These are just super bright because they're hyper pigmented, but they're not, it's not going to look like this when I put it on, promise you. And then I'm just going to do a really classic lip using Pouty Lip Liner and Upscale Lipstick. So, hi Jen. It's going to look very natural, promise you. But a little key is put your primer on, make a cup of coffee, let the dog out, whatever you got to do. You want the primer, hi Tara, you want the primer to sit on your face and kind of just work on your face, dry, so that it's not like tacky. You'll feel when you put it on that it feels very, very silky, and then when it's totally dry, you won't feel that sort of silkiness anymore. All right, so I'm going in with another point of this video. This is the shade Taffeta. This is too dark for me right now. I color match a lot of people, and there are a lot of people who think that you have to find the exact same color of your skin to wear a foundation, but I'm here to prove you wrong, because honestly, I can wear about 4 or 5 different shades of our foundation, and that's not to say that they're the perfect match for my skin at all. In fact, Taffeta is too dark for me right now, but I'm going to show you that with highlighting and contouring and blending things in, how that all works together. So this is Taffeta Liquid Mineral Touch Foundation, or Photoshop in a bottle. Clearly, it's a different color than my skin is. I know that. But when I highlight and when I contour, this is all going to blend together for perfection. Sometimes I find that picking the exact color of your skin doesn't fare well for you, honestly. Like you can see on the back of my hand. This is much more tan than I'm ever going to be. Hi, Tanisha. So I'm going to use an EcoTool sponge. I use the round side. Hi, Melanie. I'm going to use the round side of the EcoTool sponge, and I'm just going to press it into my skin. Once I diffuse it out and blend it in, it definitely lightens up quite a bit. But if you are someone who self-tans, or someone, like most people don't self-tan their face because you're going to be washing your face and using skincare products on your face so much that you're basically going to wash off your tan. So that's another reason that people tend to go a little bit darker on their foundation on their skin, because it just makes sense. But I do blend this down my neck a little bit. Even when I blend it in, obviously, this is a little bit darker than my complexion is normally. I'm not going to deny that. But when I highlight and contour, it's all going to go together perfectly. Plus, for me, I'm a very fair Polish maiden, and I don't tan ever unless it comes out of a bottle. My skin just does not do that, which is fine. I stay out of the sun, but easy. Photoshop in a bottle. God, I love this stuff. All right, so the reason that I went slightly darker is that when I put my concealer on, it comes forward that much more, and sort of I'm able to make certain areas of my face recede further back and therefore disappear, making a thinner facial appearance. Hi, Kim. So I'm going to use Scarlet Cream Concealer today. So this is Skin Perfecting Concealer. It's a tiny bottle, but these last me anywhere from 6 to 8 months of pretty much daily usage. And I like to put this on the back of my hand, and then I put a very little amount on, just kind of a dot, and I spread it out with a cream concealer brush, or a cream eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to show you where I'm putting it. You'll see, because Scarlet is about 4 shades lighter than the taffeta I just put on. What are you two nuts doing? I have 2 4-year-olds here this morning. So it's Romper Room at Megan Barkovich's house. The reason that I use the brush to put it on, I'm able to get so much more mileage out of my concealer by doing this. I also find that it gives me a much lighter touch and I don't apply nearly as much. So it just gives me a better end result. I find the less product I use, the better the result, because I'm able to achieve the color I want without packing product on. When you pack, oh my God, this dog. When you pack product on, you're gonna notice fine lines and wrinkles that much more, and I'm just not about that life. I'm about faking youth until I just can't anymore. So that's the reason to go lighter, especially if you have mature skin. Don't pack the product on. It doesn't end up working for that type of skin. Moisturize the heck out of it. So obviously there is a vast difference between the highlighted areas and my foundation. That's totally fine. We're gonna see how that all blends together. Okay. I always do put a little extra concealer around my mouth area. Oh my gosh. I always put a little extra concealer around my mouth because your mouth and your nose are hormonally going to be more red as a woman. Mother Nature does not have our back on a lot of things, ladies. But using the right concealer, you're going to be good to go. I also go ahead and drag my concealer up, and it sort of gives that lifting appearance. So if you feel like you're just kind of dragged down in the morning, bring that concealer nice and high, and you're going to notice that it looks like your whole face just got like, you know, we all need that. And personally, I don't have the time or the money to go and get that surgically fixed. All right, so I'm going to use the flat side of my EcoTools sponge, same sponge that I used for my foundation, and I'm just going to go and blend this in. Because there's a little bit of dampness in this, it's going to blend really, really nicely into my foundation, but you're going to see the brightness. You're not going to see it as super white. But you're going to get that really nice bright under eye. I don't like a white under eye. I've seen that. I feel like that's too much product. When I see the super white under eye, it's like when I used to put white out on my fingernails to give myself a French manicure in junior high. Don't do the super white. Do at least like a flesh tone pale. You can go up to 3, possibly even 4 shades lighter on your concealer than you do on your foundation if you're looking for a bright under eye. I really don't think Scarlet is too dark for a lot of foundation colors. Like I'm using Taffeta today. I want to say Taffeta is 5 shades darker than Scarlet is. So it all blends in because it's meant to, and all I did was basically diffuse out the edges. So I have a nice bright under eye, and when we go and do the contour, we're going to be able to fake sort of the caves of our cheeks a little bit better. But you can already see that that darker foundation, I used a foundation that was too dark for me. It really does work when you're highlighting and contouring. I could see if you're just throwing makeup on and walking out the door with this and done, that it wouldn't look good. But if you're layering your makeup, you're going to be fine. All right, so now I'm going to go in, because I use cream and liquid products, I'm going to go in with Touch Behold Setting Powder. This is a translucent powder, so anyone can use it. You don't have to be color matched. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on my face, and on the areas that I concealed, I'm going to go ahead and put some of the Touch Behold Setting Powder. And I'm just using the damp blending sponge, same way that I did my concealer. And I'm going to press this in. And what this does is it creates a barrier on that cream product so that it's not going to move at all during the day. If you have oily skin, if you live in hot climates, hi Meg, you're not going to see your product move at all if you're following the right steps, which is setting your cream and liquid products with a powder. This translucent powder is going to blur your pores. It's going to make fine lines and wrinkles sort of disappear a little bit because it's incredibly finely milled. But I still go in with a pretty light hand. I don't pack it on. I don't do that whole baking thing. It's not for me. I feel like that just makes me look older somehow. Okay, so I'm now going to go in with Poplin. So many 4-year-olds are here right now. I'm going to go in with Poplin pressed powder, and I'm just going to set the rest of my face. Oh my God, 4-year-olds, dogs. I'm like Mary Poppins today. It's too much. Okay, so that's all this is for. This is a pressed powder, and all I'm doing is setting that liquid foundation so that it gives me A, an airbrushed finish, and B, my liquid foundation is not going to go anywhere. And blend down your neck. Always blending. So this is yet another shade. So we've used Taffeta, Scarlet, and now Poplin, but we're not done yet. I'm going to go in with Gingham. Gingham is my contour shade, clearly darker than my skin tone. I didn't pick an aggressively dark foundation powder to do my contour with because I just get a little anxious about blending that in. I feel like that can look fake really quickly. The reason that you would use a foundation powder over a bronzer is foundation powders are going to be matte, so if you don't want a really, really glowy appearance, then go with foundation powder. It's also going to give you a lot of pigment to blend in. Dylan. It's also going to give you a lot of pigment to blend in without putting a lot of product on your face. So if that's kind of the look that you're going for, if you like an overall matte look, grab a pressed powder to do your contour with. If you like an overall glowy appearance and you just want to like shine bright like a diamond all day, not going to get in your way of doing that, we'll grab you a bronzer. This is the shade Malibu, so this is our darkest. So this shade is Gingham. For me, this is a contour because I'm very fair-skinned. And I usually start towards the back of my face and just kind of blend up towards my mouth. And I just follow the curve and the hollow of my cheek to do that. So it's a very natural contour. It's nothing aggressive. I could have probably gone one shade darker, to be honest with you, but I got a little nervous in my selection. I thought, better be safe than sorry. So I just, again, follow that cheek. Hi, Lisa, how are you? So I just kind of follow that cheekbone, that hollow. Don't go too close into the sides of your mouth, or else you'll kind of look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow. Just kind of beat your face up right here in the hollow where it's like the squishiest. Okay, and now I'm gonna do my forehead. Basically, the whole idea is we are making the inside of our face come forward, making the sides of our face recede back, which gives us a long, thin, sculpted face. Super important is my jawline. I don't ever forget it. Especially if you're doing family photos or photos of any kind, always go in and do your jawline. You will not need Photoshop to get rid of that pesky second chin. And just blending down. Blend down a little further on the sides than you do in the center. And your neck will also be like a contour. I'm grabbing my powder concealer brush so that I can do the sides of my nose. Hi, Crystal. So I'm using that same gingham shade, and I'm just going to go slightly down the sides of my nose. This is more to warm it up so that it's not like sticking out like a sore thumb. Thanks, Lisa. I appreciate that. Going down the sides, I'm going to make a little line right before the top of my nose, and then I'm going to go underneath my nose. And this just kind of warms it up and, I don't know, thins it out slightly. And then what we're gonna do is blend that out so it doesn't look like we were in there messing with it. Hi, Crystal, how are you? So obviously you can see everywhere that I contoured, but what I do is I just take that brush and basically diffuse the lines out so it's not quite so aggressive. And then you have that like warm sort of glow. If you get into a spot where you feel like you have over contoured and you just feel like it needs to be blown out a little bit, go and take a big powder brush. This is a Real Techniques super powder brush that I got at Target, so it's not like it has to be anything super expensive. I never put anything on this brush. This brush is just for blowing my lines out here. Blowing lines, that sounded like totally drug paraphernalia. Apologize to all the children, people watching at work. Basically, I just use this to diffuse any harsh lines so that you don't get them. And I never put anything on this brush so that I can just go through and basically blend. Like that. That way you don't have like the really harsh lines. I love a good contour, but the mark of good makeup is not being able to see where one thing starts and the next thing stops. That's my personal opinion. Everybody can have their own, but if you're going neutral and you're going sophisticated, you can't look like Mimi from the Drew Carey Show. Just gonna put it right out there. All right, so speaking of Mimi from the Drew Carey Show, I'm now gonna put this on my face. You can all gasp, but it's gorgeous. It's one of my favorite shades actually, and the first time I saw it, I thought, what kind of tramp would wear this? And that tramp is me, because it's gorgeous. So literally, it's got the best pigment. These blushes I'm hooked on, but it gives me such a pretty flush shade without looking over the top. So clearly it's pink, but when you're not doing a heavy eye look, when you're not doing a heavy lip look, you want a little bit of color on your face so you don't look washed out. But I literally touch it once, that's all. You don't have to, like, we have all been in a pan of blush going back and forth trying to get enough on our brush to make a difference. I don't have that issue with the Younique. So this shade is called Stunning, and honestly, I'm a huge advocate. Here comes the peanut gallery. All these boys. Okay, gorgeous. I live for this. Again, if you put blush on and you need to blow it out a little bit, just take that big. It's so pretty, isn't it? This is something that I also use to like kick up an eyeshadow look. We live in a 3,000 square foot house and they have to play right here. It's fine, it's fine. There's bigger problems. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with highlighter and I'm gonna use Benevolent to do highlighter. This is our powder luminizer, Live for Powder Luminizer. It is such a nice way to blend everything together and to give your cheek a little glow. Another tip is, if you really wanna kick up the sheen on that, take your setting spray or your rose water. I can relate my settings a lot. Oh, so it just doesn't get better is what you're telling me. So if you want to kick up the glow on your powder luminizer, this is what you do. You take a little of your setting spray and you spray your brush. Hey guys, can you go play downstairs, please? Let's go in her bedroom. That's how that went. All right, so when you wet it, it's going to basically concentrate the sheen a little bit so that you get a little bit more glow. You can totally see where I just put that. It's not an aggressive way. It's not like I just wiped, you know, Rainbow Bright on my face, but you're basically going to be able to get a more concentrated piece of that highlight without going in and adding a ton of product. And I go right down my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Like that. I like to use the highlighter because I feel like it blends everything in really well and it makes my skin look really glowy and healthy. I usually attribute those things to being sort of hand in hand. If you have glowy, well-hydrated skin, you're gonna see it. And until you get there, fake it till you make it with one of these beauties. I love them. I have them 4 different shades and it's like a non-negotiable. I use it every single day. I don't wash my hair every day, but I use my highlighter every day. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and do my brows. I prefer that to matte. I agree. I feel like it gives you a really youthful, hi Laura. I feel like it gives you a really youthful glow when you have youthful appearance, when you have a little glow in your skin. When you get too matte, even when I see teenagers that are super matte, it's just like so heavy. It's super serious. I don't know. It looks like they're miserable or something. I don't know. When you glow, you look happy. All right, so I'm gonna go in and do my brows now. Mina ballerina. Just kill me now. Okay, so Brow Obsession palette. This is the brunette shade. And I'm gonna go in and draw my brows in. I'll do one and then I will show you sort of the difference in why I do my brows. I have a fairly good brow shape and a fairly decent amount of brows, but when I do my brows, I feel like it just adds a level of polish to my face that I don't have otherwise.
If you don't have blocks, you can go down.
They're playing on the stairs because that's the safest thing you could do, right? Oh my gosh.
Mommy,
What do?
can I take off my socks?
You can, but I don't want you to play on the stairs. Can you guys go finish Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and I'll be down in 10 minutes?
It's already done.
Then play in the man cave on the iPads for a few minutes, please. And you can get fruit snacks.
Yes.
All right, smell you later.
Yeah, Mina, that's my sock. That's my sock.
All right, so the first thing I do after I negotiate with 4-year-olds to leave me alone for 5 minutes is I go in and draw the bottom line of my brow, and then I go in and draw the top line of my brow. And this is gonna give me the parameters that I wanna stay in when I fill my brow in. I always make sure that I grab the little teeny baby hairs that are right above my brow and blend them in because it helps to give me a better arch, a believable arch, because I'm still following my natural brow shape. And at that point, I can make the arch and the tail of my brow a little bit thicker. you want this part back to be the fullest, darkest part of your whole brow. Everything else can be softer and fade right into it. So without adding extra product to my brush, I'm just going to take the brush and fade what I have left on the brush and what I have on my brow already in, so that I have a nice soft start to my brow. Naturally, your brows don't start off super thick. It's a pet peeve of mine when I see people with like a sharpied in brow in the front. You can do better than that. Just look at the difference. It's kind of a miraculous difference how much more structure this side of my face has than this side. When I read an article once that the Kardashians were being interviewed in, because I'm a sicko and I still follow that. Okay, look. What do?
Can I have a juice box?
Yes, you can both have juice boxes.
Yes. I knew it.
I had read an article,
We're gonna do this.
and Kylie Jenner, they said if you could only wear three pieces of makeup, what would they be? And brows were like the first thing she said, and I'm like, no freaking way. Like, there is no way that brows make that big a difference. But they do. They make all the I watch it occasionally too. I honestly, like, I'm not one of the people that tunes in like, oh my god, the Kardashians are on, I have to watch. But their lives are just so different than mine that I have this morbid curiosity as to how that all works. He's in Chase's room, doll. I just have this morbid curiosity as to how that works. You know, like what does it feel? They have killer brows, which I have. Exactly. They have a staff. They literally don't even have to pick out their own clothes. They have someone that does that for them and make sure that they're fitted perfectly to their body and, you know, all those things. Like, could you imagine even just what you have in your closet right now? If what you had in your closet right now was tailored to your body so that it looked perfect, like, we would all look 10 pounds thinner every day because everything would be literally built to fit us. I have nothing to complain about. Whenever I hear them whine about something, I'm like, you have nothing to say. Okay, so I still have concealer left over on the back of my hands because when I use my concealer brush, I am always heavy extra product. So I'm just going to go in and basically clean up my brow line. I blame my 22 and 19-year-old daughters who occasionally watch. You know, my husband will even say, like, when I put it on, he's like looking over the top of his iPad to just see what it is, because it's just wild. It's the best way to describe it. It's getting a little stupid, honestly. It's like, at first they did seem normal, like when the show first started and they were kind of like not mega stars at that point, but now they're like, when Courtney's complaining, like, I wouldn't work if I didn't have to. I'm like, listen, I just read a Forbes article that you're worth $14 million. You don't have to work. But you couldn't live like the rest of them do if you didn't. And working to them is just letting someone observe their life. Like, if all I needed was like a film crew to follow me around all day and that was work, granted that would be a boring show, I would have nothing to whine about. I could be with my kids all the time. I could, you know, clean my house. I would have so much stuff to do. I can't guarantee anybody would tune into that, but, you know, I'd be happy to oblige. Okay, so I just took the concealer that I had left over on my brows and just kind of fleeked, or I had concealer left over on my hand, and I just went in and sculpted my brows out so that there's a little bit of a matte highlight there and that they look totally on point. And now I'm going to go in with bronzer. This is the shade Hermosa. No, it's not. It's Malibu. And I'm going to go and just throw some of this in the crease of my eye for a shadow today. How many times did I ask them to go play downstairs? I even offered them fruit snacks to do it. My 4D mascaras should be here this week. I got the shipping notification yesterday, so I can't wait to try it and show you guys. So again, this is bronzer. This is not eyeshadow, but it's something that I use all the time. Hi, Michelle. I like the warmth that it gives me without being fussy. And it just like gives your skin a little bit of extra glow. I'm gonna pop a little bit of this just on my face for giggles because I have a bronzer problem and I live for it. Okay, now, oh, we gotta do it. Mascara. All right, Epic Mascara. One Step Mascara. I can't wait until my 4D gets here. Not that I don't love my regular Epic, but the 4D looks like it's gonna change my life. How could I get a good goldish JLo look at 50? I'm gonna see it. You're going to see Jade? Oh my God, I would love to see her. She is like an entertainer. Forget it. We can work on a JLo glow for you. No problem. We'll get you a bomb bronzer, an awesome highlighter, a tremendous lip combo. Oh, I have a whole thing going in my head now. I can't wait until they release. They always release some special products for summer. Last year was the Beachfront Kissed collection, and I got this, I'm going to show it to you. I got this 14 karat gold highlighter. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Susan. It was called Belize. It's literally like 14 karat gold. It is one of my favorite highlighters. I don't show it on videos because it's not available for sale anymore. It was just for a limited time. So I don't like to show anything on videos that you can't buy like right now today, because I hate when I go to buy something and they go, oh, just wait for it to get restocked. It's like I need instant gratification on that. So anyway, if they come out with that again, it will be the first thing you see me put on my face because I love that bronzer or that highlighter so much. Okay, so second coat of Epic. Hashtag all the difference in the world. The first coat is sort of like my primer coat, and then the second coat really just lengthens and separates and makes my lashes do great things. Obviously, the second coat, you're going to have to pull it through with a little bit more gusto than the first. But it's all good. Okay, and then I'm going to take what I have left over on my wand and just tickle my lower lashes. Like that. I got mascara in my eye now. It's watering. It's pretty evident too. Okay, so last thing is our lip. All right, last thing is lip. So I'm going to use just this super OG combo, which is Pouty Lip Liner and Upscale Lipstick. I like Upscale because it's got like a really pretty peachy coral sort of look to it, and it's got a little bit of a sheen on top of that. So Pouty is, I use 3 lip liners religiously. Prudent, Pouty, and Prim. No, Prim is the eyeliner I use. Plush. This one is probably like, I would say my favorite. I use it the most. So I'm just going to go and line my lips quick. Lip liner is a great way to keep your lipstick in place all day, to shape your smile, and to add fullness to your pout. Okay. Done. right, so upscale. It's just this like really pretty peachy coral. And I just kind of blend it right into that lip line. And then, because I hate wasting product, I still have some concealer on the back of my hand. I'm going to go ahead and ombre it out by putting just a little bit of that concealer right in the center. And that's going to make, just like how we highlighted our face, it's going to highlight our lip. It's going to make the interior of our lip look larger so that our smile looks poutier. We all know that I have serious big lip issues. I love big lips. Okay. I love this lip for spring because it's not super fussy, but still it shows up. So you can have a really like flawless kind of face. Like I don't feel like this face makeup looks overdone or like too contrived, I guess. It doesn't look forced. So I like something to kind of stand out. Even that blush, you know, like just a reminder, we used a really powerful blush. It doesn't look that way on. It's got a totally different look on. And of course, if you were to just rub your brush in it over and over and over again and apply it, you could achieve this on your face. I don't know why you'd want to, but if you just use it sparingly as it's meant to, touching it once and blending it in, you're just gonna have the nicest, prettiest flush glow to your face. So obviously, Facebook Live is unedited. There is no filter on this. What you see is what you get. If I screw up, you've seen it, like when I poke myself in the eye with an mascara wand, for instance. So this whole thing is very, very doable. Maybe you're not a cream person. Maybe picking the Scarlet Pressed Powder is going to be more your speed. That's totally fine. We make this, and it's, even though it's not called concealer, this is a pressed foundation powder. You can just take your same EcoTools sponge that's damp. You can press it in this and do your under eyes. You're going to get the beauty of setting your makeup, highlighting your under eye, brightening any dark circles that you have, contouring your face, all with one product. That being said, if you guys have any questions, I will take a picture of this and I will post all in the comments everything that I used to achieve the look today, including the colors and everything, so you can just go to the website and take a look at that. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have about products or skincare or being color matched. Absolutely. You know what? I have sort of dry-ish skin, and I love our powders. I set our powders all the time with the rose water as, oh, that's what I forgot to do. I forgot to set my makeup. I'm going to set it with setting spray right now, but I'm going to talk to you about rose water in 2 seconds. Always, always set your face. Hi, Charlene. All right, so the beauty of, if you use a powder routine, which you can do, I even do, I don't have oily skin and I still love powder routines. You can grab a rose water. I use this for my skincare, as well as every time I use a powder routine, straight powder from start to finish, I always set it with rose water. This is going to give you a dewier appearance, because what it does is it melts all your powder together and the rose water tones it at the same time, and it just gives you glow. So definitely when we get your whole powder routine down, Kim, we're going to grab you one of these. You're going to love it for your skincare, number one, but you can use it for your makeup every day too. I love products that I can do more than one thing with, and rose water is absolutely one of them. It reduces puffiness, it reduces redness, it hydrates your skin. If you have any skin conditions like eczema or psoriasis, anything like that, it's going to nourish it because there's all kinds of botanical extracts and essential oils in it. It smells like a bouquet of roses. It's very gentle. I have super sensitive skin. I can't use a lot of products because my eyes will swell up. this has nothing I've ever used with Younique, thank goodness, has ever bothered me. So if you use a powder routine, but you don't want a matte look, that can be hard to do. But setting it with rose water changes the game. You're going to love it. I think that's the end of my spiel. All right, so they're quiet downstairs, which is a little concerning because they're 2 4-year-old boys, and I'm just expecting to walk down there and see those juice packets exploding, Capri Suns exploding everywhere. But that's our look for today. Don't be afraid of using a foundation powder or liquid that is not your exact skin tone. I used one that was too dark for me today, and I still showed you how to blend it all together so that it looks really, really natural. If you're highlighting and contouring, we can fix it. Don't worry about it. I hope that you guys like this. If you would, please like and share these videos with your friends and family. I would be super grateful. It's how I meet new people and how I can expand this. But I will be back probably on Saturday, unless by the grace of God something happens and I'm gifted some time. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Saturday. Love you too much.